Welcome back to another episode of Louis Talks Leafs. In today's video, we're going to break down the Toronto Maple Leafs' brutal matchup against the Columbus Blue Jackets from January 22nd, 2025. Before we get into everything, I just want to let you guys know I got a little upset. I broke my chair, so I'm going to have less visuals for this video, but for the next game, we'll come back with brand new booming visuals. Bring the boom! The Maple Leafs entered this game with a solid 30-16-2 record, sitting at 62 points, looking for their fourth consecutive win. However, they've had some struggles against the Blue Jackets recently, having lost 3 of their 4 matchups with Columbus. In those games, Toronto's puck mismanagement and struggles with transition defense contributed to high-scoring losses, including a painful 6-2 blowout back in October. Ha! Man, I could just tell you what happened last game and it would be the same thing for this game. Anyways, the Leafs were clearly aiming to avenge that loss. They did not, by tightening up defensively and looking to capitalize on their offensive depth. Speaking of offense, Austin Matthews and William Nylander continued to lead the charge in the last few games, with Nylander just hitting 28 goals for the season. However, the Leafs were missing some key players tonight, including their captain, John Tavares, who's week to week with a lower body injury, and Stoli the goalie, Anthony Stolarz, who's been sidelined for 4 to 6 weeks following the pebble that was in his knee. That meant that Dingo, Dennis Hildeby got the start in goal tonight, a crucial opportunity for the young netminder. On the other side, the Columbus Blue Jackets came into this game with a 22-18-7 record, good for 51 points, but they've been struggling offensively. That didn't tell the story of the game tonight. They scored just 1 goal in their last 2 games, including a 3-1 loss to the Islanders. Despite their offensive woes, the Blue Jackets have the talent to pull off an upset, which they did, with key players like Kirill Marchenko and Zach Werenski leading the way. They didn't even do that tonight. Columbus is fast, skilled, ranking highly in shooting percentage and on the power play, but they were also missing a few important pieces, including Sean Monahan, who just got injured a few games ago. This game was crucial for both teams. The Leafs were aiming to continue their strong play and tighten up their defense, while the Blue Jackets were hoping to snap their losing streak and turn things around. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight. For the forward group, on line 1, we have Matthew Knies, Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner. On line 2, we have Bobby McMahon, Pontus Holmberg, and William Nylander. On line 3, we have Max Domi, Fraser Mitten, and Nicholas Robertson. And on line 4, we have Steven Lorentz, David Kampf, and Ryan Reeves. On defense, your starting pair is Jake McCabe and Morgan Rielly. The second pair is OEL and Chris Tanev. And the third pair is Simone Benoit and Connor Timmins. And starting in goal tonight is Dingo, Dennis Hildeby. Now let's see how Dingo and the boys did in the first period. The Leafs came out pretty strong defensively, cutting off all the passing lanes and getting the puck out of their zone pretty quickly. Both teams were feeling each other out, but around the 18-minute mark, we had a huge fight between Ryan Reeves and Matthew Olivier. Great bout with both guys throwing some solid punches, but no real momentum shift from it. The third line with McMahon, Nylander, and Holmberg was actually looking pretty good in the offensive zone. They were applying solid forecheck pressure and getting shots on net. Around the 16:34 mark, the Leafs went on the power play after a holding call on Columbus. Their start, it was a bit shaky, but the puck movement improved and they had some solid looks at the net. The 5-forward unit looked pretty good, but I want to see them shoot more, especially from the outside. On that power play, the Leafs had some excellent cycling chances, but could only manage 1 shot on net and no goals. But shortly after, though, Mitch Marner and Oliver Ekman-Larsson got a good look. But during the play, Merzlikins made a stick switch with Matthews, and then Matthews ended up picking up his stick, which leads to offsetting penalties, and OEL was right on the top of the slot about to rip one in, and they called a penalty. After that, we got some 4-on-4 hockey, and the Leafs completely dominated, keeping the puck in the offensive zone and waiting for their chances. Timmins had a nice tight shot on goal, but it went wide, and Nylander had a breakaway but was robbed by Elvis Merzlikins. Then back to 5-on-5, the Leafs continued to apply pressure with McMahon and Ryan Reeves getting some solid chances. But Merzlikins again stood tall. Now, Hildeby, he looked a little bit shaky, honestly. He made the saves, but he was very hesitant with his movements. He didn't feel comfortable in goal. There were a couple of times the puck sat right in front of him, and he didn't quite make the play he needed to. Through the first 10 minutes, the Leafs should have been up 4-0, but Hildeby wasn't looking too confident, and Elvis was robbing us. Then, the Leafs got another power play, and once again, their cycling was great, but Merzlikins kept robbing them, including a save on Marner right in front. The second power play unit looked solid, but couldn't find the seam they needed to score. Then, I don't want to talk about this. After the power play, McCabe was making a good move, but was caught out of position. And Fantilli picked up the loose puck and sped right past Riley and scored a shorthanded goal. That made it 1-0 Columbus. Merzlikins was putting on a clinic while Hildeby, still shaky, was struggling to make some key saves. In the final minutes of the period, the Leafs did a great job getting the puck out of the defensive zone and shutting down any Columbus opportunities. But overall, it was a frustrating period. Lots of opportunities, but no goals, which is the story of this game. The Leafs dominated offensively, but couldn't get past the fucking Elvis! Ugh! Overall, and this is kind of how I feel about this entire game, it pissed me off. The Leafs generated so many chances. A great drag and shoot play from Robertson. Breakaway after breakaway chances from Nylander. Solid cuts to the net. It's just a matter of time before the floodgates open, I thought. But, nope. We'll see how the Leafs do in the next 20 minutes of the game. Now, into the second period. Man, Hildeby is just looking so slow. The Leafs had a rough start, being hemmed in by Columbus, and there was some bad puck luck with some broken sticks. We got hemmed into our own zone, but Marner used his body to shield off the defenders and gave the Leafs some momentum to get things going in the offensive zone. Matthews looked fully healthy. He was cycling the puck like his old self, and McCabe was doing a great job keeping the puck in the zone. Marner took a shot, and from that shot, Nyes drew a penalty on the front of the net on Sean Corrali. That power play came out buzzing, moving the puck efficiently and getting some great looks on net. Merzlikins had to freeze a puck a couple of times, and Mitten looked good on PP2, cycling well, but no goals. After the power play, David Kampf had a great shot on net, but it was wide. The Leafs were still buzzing, but they just couldn't get one past Elvis. I gotta be honest, Hildeby is killing me. His movements are so hesitant. He looks like Ilya Samsonov trying to make a save like Shaq. He really needs to calm down. He's a huge goalie, and he doesn't need to be flailing all over the paint like he is. Holmberg looked a little lost out there today as well. On both sides of the ice, he's been struggling to stay on his feet. Every time he's with a defender, he's using a stick, and he's flying it around like he's going to hit somebody in the face. But even with those issues, the Leafs were still getting chances. Matthews had a gorgeous move and pass, and there was a great spinorama from Minton to Domi. Domi literally hit it under his pad. It should have gone right under his shoulder and through to the back of the net. But I guess God didn't want the goddamn Maple Leafs to win again. Then, of course, right after some more missed opportunities, JVR gets a cross-crease pass and buries one, followed by another quick goal by Columbus. Suddenly, it's 3-0. The Leafs played one of the best games of the year, and Elvis was playing out of his mind. The defense? Meh. The Leafs' power play looked good, but it was the goaltending and lack of execution that cost them. Dude, I cannot believe how bad Sportsnet hates the Maple Leafs. It's supposed to be a home broadcast! Stop glazing the other team. We're playing way better than them. We're skating circles around these guys. And we have a shitty fucking stupid goalie in net who can't make a save. It's upsetting. I need to take a chill pill. But this is my vent session. So thank you. But yeah, and at the end of the period, Nyes goes down and leaves the game from a hard hit from Marchenko. Great. Great. Great game for the boys. Great game. But man, Elvis just, whew, he had a night. I mean, there's nothing to say except we should have beat these guys 10-0. And Elvis absolutely stuck his injured ass out and saved Columbus. I honestly think I'm getting really upset because I'm an Oregon Ducks fan and Ohio State whipped us. And I got a soft spot for any Ohio sports fans. They can all go suck one. But anyways, let's get into the third period. Heading into the third period with Nyes out, Nylander moved up to the first line. For the first few minutes, both teams were just kind of exchanging chances, dilly-dally in the neutral zone. But the Leafs did well in the defensive zone, leading to some offensive pressure by the fourth line. How's Hildeby doing? Still awful. He can't track the puck, and it's costing the Leafs again and again and again. And again, he lets another weak goal in he shouldn't have. It's like watching a disaster unfold in slow motion. The Leafs are putting on all the pressure, but their goalie just keeps crushing their chances against a hot Elvis Merzlikins. He robbed us tonight. Anyways, Nylander gets another breakaway, Mr. Breakaway Man, and he hits it off the post. But on the next play, he skates around the net, cycles, and finds Matthews boxing out a player in front of the net, and he scores, making it 4-1 Columbus. At this point, it's like Matthews said, screw it, and just took the game into his own hands. He literally went up to the guy after he scored, and he said, fuck you. It was hilarious. And if you could think it got worse, the Leafs pull the goalie for a 4-on-4 situation with 8 minutes left. And Adam Fantilli gets his hat trick to put away the game. 5-1 Columbus. Now, I have no 3 stars of the game. I have no key takeaways. I have none of this. My key takeaway is Elvis just played like a star. And, he played through injury. He played with a team who's also full of injuries and, frankly, isn't very good. And he stuck his ass out and he won them the game. And it's like I was saying, it's like God was watching over Ohio. I don't know how to say it, but that's my key takeaway. And the Leafs look good. They just got robbed. And I'd rather have them look like this and get great scoring opportunities and have them robbed by a goalie than them playing behind the whole game and them looking like they don't want to be out there. And it didn't look like that tonight. They looked engaged. They looked like they were playing hard. It's just they couldn't get one past him. But anyways, thank you for listening to my rant session about the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening as well as me, because I'm going to have some fun after this. Hope you guys have a good night. Love you all. Go Leafs, go.